Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of Mahou Shoujo Ikusei Kaku or Magical Girl Raising Project Episode 7. And before I even get into it, sorry if I sound a bit stopped up or if I'm just not all the way like I am normally for this review, but like I said on Twitter last night, I have had a fever for like the past 4 days or something, and I'm just not feeling so well. I was going to say I'm not feeling so hot, but no, I'm feeling very hot. And sorry if the audio is off in this as well, or if you hear like birds outside or something, because it is freaking just burning up in here. It is 1,000,000 degrees, so I had to open a window while I'm recording. Yeah, so sorry if you hear traffic in the background, birds, anything like that, that's why. I figured rather that than me sweating to death suffering through while I'm trying to record. But yeah, the music at the beginning of this episode, fire. I think it was Ruler's background music track that I said I really loved, and I like Ripples and Calamity Mary's as well, the music track that usually plays when they do something important. But the music track was great for Hardcore Alice. I kept seeing a bunch of people call her Black Alice in the comments, that's why it stuck with me. But yeah, Hardcore Alice, which is already awesome. I love the character already. I said just from her showing up last episode I liked her. I like her so much more after this episode. But I love the music at the beginning. And we see Koyuki wake up, and of course I love all of seeing them in real life. Whenever we get to see the real life characters, I am just very, very happy. So I was so happy we're getting that right off the bat. She has the rabbit foot with her, and we find out that it was actually bought by Alice, and its power is that it gives the person who has it luck when they're in a pinch. So I think that's actually a pretty funny ability, and it'll be useful for Snow White since it seems as though she doesn't really have the combat ability that the others do for the most part. So then we find out Nana wants to meet with Snow White, and we see Nana and Shizuku in real life, and I was just so freaking happy to see them, just because they are best couple, love them so much. Then we see that Weiss is sort of starting to figure out that things aren't really as they seem. There may be a bit of an inside job going on here. And they also, we find out, have called Swim's group to try to contact them. Mary also wants to know from Fav who killed Magicaloid. And again, interesting that she would even really care that I found it interesting, at least, that she even cared that Magicaloid died. I figured she'd be like, oh well, screw it, she died, whatever. Yeah, and she also mentions that she's on to Fav, so she knows his secret, like that he's working for Cranberry or something like that. Of course, we still don't know the total what's going on with the secret. But then she attacks Alice, and I love this. The fight was the best fight we've had so far in this. It was just a beatdown on both sides. Alice was surprisingly really good at hand-to-hand combat there. But Mary friggin' mulches her, and she just keeps regenning. And one thing I wrote down in my notes, like, word for word here, where the fuck does she get all this shit? Like Mary kept pulling out I guess her ability maybe is to pull out weapons and stuff, but that wouldn't explain some of it, because she had it looked like a barrel with concrete that she trapped part of her in and threw into the ocean. She burned her with gasoline. It looked like she poured acid on her. It's like, where did she get all of this stuff? She pulled out a grenade, so if her ability had to do with guns, I guess a grenade maybe not. I didn't get how I was like, where did she get all this? So I'm assuming her power is to just get stuff like that, but not all of it was weapons, so I have no clue. But then they have the announcements, and the announcements cover Magicaloid's death, but not Hardcore Alice's. So yeah, then Mary's like, well, crap, this still did not work. Interesting. And we see the mid cards are actually Minael and Yunael. The real names are Mina and Yuna. So Minael can transform into non-living things, and Yunael can transform into any living creature. And they're both university students and twins. Or, I don't remember if it said they were twins. I remember it said they were sisters, but I'm assuming they're twins. Then we see the flashbacks of this little girl. She's had a bunch of dads, and her name keeps changing. She beats down these students, which are awesome. And throughout that, I was like, I 100% saw the one dad perving on her. Like I was like, I wrote down on my notes, 100% saw that coming, because it's like, if I was writing a story, and I think like if I was going to write my own original piece and story, which maybe one day I will, that sounds actually pretty fun. But if I did, I was like, the perfect way to make you empathize with the character, to make you on their side and to hate the people against them, the two things I would say are bullying, or like any crime that involves children, or like sexual stuff. Like that stuff is like, it elicits such an emotional response as a normal human being that like when you see it, you're like, okay, I want somebody to kill this friggin' guy that just like lifted her skirt or whatever, or like these kids bullying her. Like that is the most like emotionally jarring thing you can do, is children and like sexual abuse or something. Like if that happens, and I would go for a darker story, so I think that would kind of work, but like if something like that happens for a backstory for a character, you are immediately on that character's side. You immediately want whoever hurt them to get taken down. So like I saw it coming, and it's, even though I saw it coming, it's very strong. It's a very strong writing thing. And I also realized pretty early on that it was Ripple because of the way she talked, and also because we know that Ripple had run away from home, because we saw her get that one message earlier in the series, like episode 2, I think, even, or maybe even halfway through episode 1. No, not episode 1. It had to be episode 2. We saw her get that message, so I found out pretty quick that I'm pretty certain it's Ripple. So, especially since Ripple says the ch thing all the time. So then we actually have Snow White having her meeting with Nana and Weiss, and Alice shows up as well. So it's really good, and I loved how tense the scene felt. I'm like, Alice isn't going to hurt, Alice isn't really going to hurt Snow White. She's like, she has some sort of yandere type thing going on for her, but it's like, they had this manufactured tension with them that was really, really good. So I really like what they did with the tension in the scene. And I'm disappointed that Koyuki didn't ask more about Alice. Why are you following me around? Why is all this happening? I know we're going to find out in the future, but I would have loved to have seen more of those two together and to find out more about Alice, because I'm really curious about her character. I want her to say more. I want to see more of her. But yeah, I'm pretty sure she's going to end up being like yandere towards Koyuki for whatever reason. I guess maybe the one thing I thought of watching it, I was like, maybe she's one of the people that Koyuki helped or something like that. So that'd be interesting. But again, no spoilers, please. If you guys know from reading the light novels, no spoilers in the comments, please. That's why I haven't been reading the comments for this on Reddit, or I've been trying to avoid it. I've been trying to avoid the comments on the actual episode. I'm like, I do not want spoilers, trying to stay away from them so hard. And of course after this, I think I'll actually read the novels after this, the light novels, because I'm really, really liking the series. Then we have an actually really funny scene. I laughed, and I really liked the scene a lot with Ripple and Top Speed at the fountain, just watching the lights and everything. And then when they talk about ages, it was even funnier. When Top Speed finds out Ripple's only 17, we find out Top Speed's 19. I still think she's pregnant, still personal guess. We have Mary. We find out from Fav that Mary wants to meet with Ripple, and Ripple refuses. But what I'm thinking this about is, because remember, if Fav told Mary who killed Magicaloid, she said she would do the thing that Fav wanted. So for whatever reason, I think Fav wants Mary to kill Ripple because Ripple is kind of too smart. Like one of those situations where it's like, we got to take them out. They're too smart for their own good. Because like she is starting to key into what's going on with Fav and everything. And like I said, I said I thought early on in the show when I made my predictions that I thought she was going to be the main one, to maybe her or Weiss, but mostly I was saying Ripple is going to be the one to find out more is going on than what it seems like there is. So I do think that if Mary and Ripple do meet, that Mary's going to want to try to kill Ripple for Fav because of that deal. Nana and Weiss also, we see them at the very end going to Swim Swim's group's hideout, And the whole time I was thinking, Nana is so dead. Because it's obviously going to be some sort of ambush. And I have been saying again from the beginning, Nana is too kind of a character. And shows like this punish that. And also because of her relationship with Weiss, I was like, one of them has to die to push the other character forward, and I was pretty much completely certain that Nana would die to push Weiss's character forward, and I'm still pretty certain of that. Just like I was saying, La Pucelle really has to die to push Koyuki's character forward, so yeah, I'm still saying Nana's gonna die in my opinion. And also, I don't think that'll be the only death next episode. I think that Nana will probably end up dying, and I think maybe Weiss will take out somebody in response or during the fight. Minael and Yunael, I would prefer maybe even Swim Swim, but I don't think Swim Swim's going to be taken down until towards the end. And also, I'm hoping not Tama, but I could see it being Tama, because I love Tama so much. And again, she's one of those characters, I don't even know why she was up with the Ruler's group, but she's too good of a character that I'm just so afraid for her just getting punished for that. But yeah, Swim Swim, we see more of her this episode and her warped childlike morality of we have to get them before they get us, following what she think a ruler should be from what Ruler said, which I think is a really good writing convention here, is just this crazy warped child morality of Swim Swim. So that's where we ended. I think the fights were amazing this episode, really. It was super, super tense. I loved the tense moments. I don't know which was better. I think the fight was maybe my favorite scene, but I loved the scene with the meeting between Koyuki and Alice as well, so it's kind of difficult to decide. We actually had like at least 3 that I remember scenes of them in their real life forms, so yes, that is the most we've had in one episode so far, and I love seeing them in their real life forms. And I love the character progress we made as well. Even though there weren't any deaths this episode, I think we did a really good job at progressing the story, and I have said before that because so many people die, it's harder to get attached to any of the characters, but I think this episode did really good at building those attachments and building some relationships a bit. One thing I wish would have happened was when Nana was like, our allies La Pucelle and Magicaloid have died. I wish that Alice or Koyuki would have said, yo, Magicaloid tried to kill me, so Alice had to kill her first. I wish one of them would have just said, Magicaloid was not our ally, just burst her bubble. Not our ally, she tried to kill me. So, I kind of wish for that. Random dog bark, okay. But, yeah, either way, I guess that's all the thoughts I got. I loved this episode. One of the better episodes, and I'm giving it a 9.5 ambushes incoming out of 10, because I am completely and wholly convinced that Nana and Weiss are about to get ambushed, and Nana will probably die in it somehow or another. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So like if you did like the video. Comment down there, tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts on it. Please no spoilers, as I've said. Just be courteous to others and all that kind of stuff, you know? Subscribe for more Mahou Shoujo Weeksei Keikaku, a bunch of other anime, manga, and TV shows, comics, like, just so many things. Check out the channel stuff if you want. Follow on Twitter if you want as well, and I'll try to keep you updated there on posting stuff, pushing stuff back, etc. And that is it, so thank you once again for watching, and yes, I'll see you all next time.